guys, it's Megan.
And Anna.
And we're here with Pat Woodskow. How are you?
Hi, Pat.
And we're hanging out at Shannon Fabrics, and Pat is going to show us this Cuddle Row quilt, and we're using the Cuddle fabric by Shannon Fabrics. And I know there's a fun story, right?
Yeah, this is a take on the old strip quilt. And I think you have a great story to tell us about how you came up the method you're going to teach us today.
Yes, actually the method isn't new. It is old. It's called strip and flip.
It's
or
vintage.
Strip and sew.
We never say old, it's
It
vintage.
is vintage. It's actually based on sewing through the strip and the back and the batting at the same time.
Okay.
So when you finish, the quilt is completed. My daughters, one Thanksgiving, daughter-in-laws were there and wanted to make quilts. And I didn't want to have to finish them for them.
Sounds
So
like my mom.
So I decided I would show them how to sew and flip, and so that when they were finished, they were done. And of course, one of them wanted to try the soft, cuddly fabrics that we had. I was working at Porter's, and so I went in and picked them out some great fabrics, sent them home to sew, and when I got home, they were done.
Really?
And I had kind of taught
I'd
them.
be shocked if that happened in my
I
house.
was. Well, I had shown them the method, and I had talked to them about this great glue. This is just a good spray adhesive. It's available from lots of different companies, but it's the secret to making this quilt work.
So that's why theirs were done so quickly.
It is. And at the time, I had talked to them about basic sewing and about fusing the back and the batting together, but I had not considered sewing each strip down or gluing each strip down. So let me show you how we did that, and it was pretty slick. All right, the first thing I like to do is to fuse the back and the batting. And it works best if you put the batting on the table, either tape it to the edges, or at home I use clips or clamps to kind of hold it tight. Then I just fold it back a certain strip back. It's actually better if you spray on the fabric itself.
So you just
Or I just
like
spray it.
Spray,
Well, of course, it's going to be all straight and flat.
My question for you, if you do this inside, is it like you should have...
It is pretty stinky.
So you should have a good ventilated
wanna
area,
keep
a little
things
window
ventilated.
open or something.
And I like to use freezer paper.
Okay.
I put it around the edges, or maybe even around on the floor.
Got you, yeah.
So that, because it does have a pretty good overspray.
You're not like sticking all over the house.
Actually, yes, you do get a little
So
sticky.
you use the spray adhesive of your choice to merge your two fabrics together. Okay, once that's done, what is your next step?
So we're going to glue that all down so they're all tight. Kind of work with it. If you spray it on the fabric rather than the batting, it tends to grab a lot quicker.
And what is this batting that we're using?
This batting is Warm and Soft, or Warm Bond from the Warm Company.
Okay.
It is my favorite because it is really soft.
Okay.
After I've glued it together,
Let me help you open that up here.
I like to fold it across the middle so I have a center line. Now you can also use the same method and do borders, and if you do that, then you'd want to put a horizontal and a vertical one. But for this pattern, I just do the horizontal line.
Okay.
Then
so
the
you kind of map
And
out
I just want to
what you're
show,
going to be doing.
look how great this sticks to this.
It does
is
stick really well.
Now it's all become one piece of fabric, which is really, really
And
super
that
cool.
is the miracle part. It really is great. Then I like to find the center line. This is my center strip.
She is glue crazy. Look at her over there with that. You need to get that away from her.
Oh, it is.
start spraying?
Don't
it
ever
is-
do that dance again. If I ever catch you doing that dance, I'm not going to talk to you for like a week.
I call this the nervous breakdown remedy or preventer.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
so I
she's not
find
gonna
my
let me
center
glue it.
line.
No.
Give me
You've
the-
lost your gluing privileges. Okay, so you're folding it in half directly along your seamed edge.
And then I just
Oh, that's not
spray
that
it.
bad.
No,
Okay.
it's
I've
not.
smelled a lot worse.
And you're just going to fold it over,
And
lay it
then
nice
just
and flat.
Get it nice and flat.
Oh, super
And
easy.
then fold
oh
it
my
up
God.
and get the other
Okay.
side.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, just swat her out of the way there with her own project. Good job.
All right, and then from here we're going to start with the.
Oh my goodness.
See, it's pretty
this
simple.
Is super, super.
And it dries pretty quickly as well.
It does.
Okay,
So
great.
we're going to start with our first two strips.
Okay.
Let me take this for you.
Oh,
Now
I'm so
on this
jazzed.
quilt-
This is like so great.
So on this quilt, I've chosen to start out with what we call the rose cuddle.
Okay.
So you can see that I've sewn the 2 strips on. Every trip to the sewing machine, I sew up one side and down, the other.
Okay.
And then I just take.
So it's a sew and glue, sew and glue. You're going to go back and forth between the two?
So now when I do this, you can either spray it right on the batting.
Oh, so that way you don't have to worry about the glue getting onto the fabric. Okay.
But I do quite often use freezer paper and lay it right here so that I don't have to worry. But
just to be protected.
And now this is helping you with the whole idea with the glue is so that your rows lay flat, straight, and they don't move around.
They don't move around.
While you're waiting to take it to the sewing machine.
Super cool.
Yeah, so when you go to sew, because this fabric is kind of slick, then it's tight. So when I go to put the next row on, it doesn't slide.
Okay, great.
So
you-
great. And then
so
you would do this. You would glue this
side.
Yeah, you glue them all, Mom. Hello.
And so then every row after that is the very same process.
I was just going to say, I want to see what it looks like when all of the rows are on here.
And then glue, and then I would take the sewing machine and put the next strip on.
Oh my
Very
gosh.
cool.
So here, we're really fast.
I like
Here
it.
I've
The
sewn-
magic of TV.
That's right.
Here we go.
So you can see I've sewn on all
Very
of the
cute.
strips. So now we're to the last row.
Okay.
So again,
And I
do
gotta
that.
say how amazing, how flat this really is laying super great.
you know, that is the miracle of the glue, and it does hold them nice and flat. You want to be careful not to pull too hard because you can actually get
And it does
kind of
curl
crooked.
just under
okay.
a little, so you make
And
sure
if
your
you get it a little
rows-
crooked, you can peel it off and stick it down again. So this row, I do like to make sure that it's down really tight. And then I take my rotary cutter
Okay.
and obviously I'm going to square it back up. So I'm going to just,
I'm trying to open that one. I don't know how to open that one.
so then
Oh,
you
was
just
there
trim
cutting
it
off
all
your
off.
excess?
Then
Okay.
I turn it over and I use my selvage line here.
Okay.
And get it just as square as I can.
Okay.
Now you need to realize, you know, for the most part, it's pretty easy. You're going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I like to use a size 90 stretch needle because it feeds through a little better. As I'm sewing it through on my sewing machine, I kind of release the tension a little bit so it's not too tight.
Okay.
The pressure needs to be, you know, not too tight.
Right.
And like if you have an old school sewing machine like mine, I have like an old fob
Don't
that
date
has
yourself,
that
Mom.
overriding foot.
It's good.
Kinda
A
like
walking foot really
walking
helps.
foot, oh,
If
okay.
you don't have a walking foot, just pin it good and then just kind of ease it through. I do kind of give
Never
it a little
force
help.
it, right.
You can't force it, but you do need to kind of pull it a little
Okay.
bit.
Now, I know you two can go
So-
all day with your sewing talk. So once that's all done, show me quickly, how do you adhere around your edges so you can get this nice finished look?
So it's all squared. And first thing, I like to sew the binding on the top.
Okay.
So we start out, I leave a little tail, sew around. This is the secret right here to a great corner. So I sew down, I'm doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I come within a 1/2 inch of the end. And then I'm going to do just a quick little corner where I'm going to, little miter, where I pick this up, this, pinch it so you have your little triangle
Right.
here.
Pinch
so
it,
this
fold it
fold
over.
is right against the top.
Okay.
And this is exactly on this edge. And then I'm going to start right here, a 1/2 inch,
Okay.
and I'm going to sew right down there.
Very
And then
neat.
you're gonna repeat that on all four
And then
corners.
you do that on all 4 corners. Now here, you can see where I have sewn it. Now when I go to finish it, I turn it the other way, and I am going to just fold it over a 1/2 inch under.
Oh, okay.
Now this is the other trick. This little miter pleat right here.
Okay.
You want to be sure you get this point into that point.
Okay,
So I poke
gotcha.
it right in there. I poke it right in. Then I put my little 1/2 inch, and I hold this down.
Okay.
And I do my little top stitch. I like to use a serpentine stitch, which is kind of a little stretch stitch.
Okay.
And I bring it about halfway here, so that little pleat is tight in there.
Now, the great thing is you have 4 corners to practice this on so you can get it nice and perfected.
So hopefully by the time
Can
you get to
use
this
a
last
zigzag
corner,
if you don't have a serpentine?
can.
A large zigzag.
Very
Okay.
cool.
so you can see I brought it right to there, and then when I fold this in, then I just start again.
Very neat.
And there is my
Just-
straight corner.
Okay, ladies, so here's a nice finished version. Pat thinks this is the cutest. And I want to mention too, you did say it's, obviously it's good for the washer. All the fabrics here are super soft, and Shannon Fabrics is going to be selling these strips in a kit. So you don't have to do the work of matching all the mismatching patterns together. They're all going to come as one, and you can buy this separately as an additional kit so that you can choose what you'd like to
Your
use on
color
your
for
back
your
side.
backing, exactly.
Wonderful. Pat, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Project.
And we always say when creativity knocks, open the door.